Hello guys, welcome to this video. This video about introduction of data structure. First we will discuss data types. Data types we can break into three parts. One is primitive data types, one is non-primitive data types, and the last one is abstract data types. Abstract data types we can break into two parts. One is data structures and the other one is operations. Finally, we will discuss nodes. We need a node to build a data structure. We are going to follow this summary. Shall we start then? First, let's see what these data types are. Let's try to understand this using a simple example. Okay, this is a car. Assume we have some information about this. We can say this is John's car and it is green. It has 4 wheels. This car's maximum speed is 140.5 mph and there are 4 seats in this car. See, we gathered some information about this car. Now let's try to write this information in a different way. We can say owner of this car equals to John and color equals to green, number of wheels equal to 4, number of seats equal to 4, and maximum speed equals to 140.5. John is a word, right? It's a collection of characters. So we can say owner is a string. Same as that, green is a string and 4 is an integer. Again 4 is an integer and 140.5 is a float. We can call data types for these string, integer and float. Now you simply know what the data type means. In computer science we can break data types into three parts. One is primitive data type, next one is non-primitive data type, and the other one is abstract data types. Now here I am giving some examples for each three, but don't worry about those, we will discuss those later. Integer, float, boolean, char, byte, these are primitive data types. String, array, classes, interfaces, these are non-primitive data types. List, queue, stack, trees, these are abstract data types. Now let's see what are these primitive data types mean. A brick is the building block of a house. Likewise, primitive data types are the basic types provided by a programming language to build an application. In most programming languages, all basic types are built in. It differs language to language. Java is a good programming language to understand these data types. So let's see what are the built-in primitive data types in Java. In Java there are 8 primitive data types. First one is byte. It can hold 1 byte of value. Second one is short. It can hold 2 bytes. Next one is int. It can hold 4 bytes. And the other one is long. It can hold 8 bytes. Next one is float. It can hold 4 bytes. Number 6 is double. It can hold 8 bytes. Next one is boolean. It can hold 1 bit. And the last one is char. It can hold 2 bytes. Now you can see here there are 8 primitive data types. According to our value, we have to select suitable data type from these data types. Now let's see what our non-primitive data type mean. Let's collect some properties of a pen. Pen can have brand, color and price. but there are other properties. But for now, let's go with these three. Let's define a pen according to our pen properties. Let's say this pen's brand is ABC, its color is green, and its price is $10. Let's name this pen as pen A. Likewise, let's define another two pens. This pen's brand is XYZ, color is blue, and the price is $20. Let's name this pen as pen B. Now let's define another pen. Its brand is PQR, color is red, and the price is $30. Let's name this pen as pen C. Now you can see here there are three pens with same properties but different values. We have pen A, pen B, pen C. These all three come with our main pen structure, right? And this pen has three properties. Those are brand, color, and price. As we discussed earlier, now we know this brand is a string, color is a string, price is an integer. Now do you remember this string and integer are primitive data types, right? We discussed about this earlier. So this brand, color, price are created by these primitive data types. At the beginning, using this brand, color, price properties, we build this pen. So we can say this pen is another data type which is generated by primitive data types. So these kind of data types we can say composite data type or non-primitive data types. Now in here we only use primitive data types to create this composite data type. Same like this, we can use non-primitive data types to create another non-primitive data type as well. Now we know what are the primitive data types and what are the non-primitive data types are. Now let's move into abstract data types. We can define abstract data types as mathematical model for data types. I know, sounds a bit confused, but don't worry, you will understand this end of this section. We can break abstract data types into two parts. One is data structures and other one is operations. Operations means insert data to the data structure, delete data from the data structure, retrieve data from the data structure. These operations should be implemented by the implementer who implements the data structure. Now let's move into data structures. We can call a data structure for a collection of data values and the relationship among them. We can use book graph to store our books. We can manage them. We can organize our books there. Same like that, using data structures, we can store data, we can manage data, and we can organize data there. Because of having data structure, we can efficiently access and modify data. Once we implement a data structure, we can use it in many applications as a reusable component. List, stack, queue, trace, heap, these are some examples for data structures. We will discuss about these data structures in our later videos. Now let's see what are these operations mean. We can use operations to modify data structures data. Retrieve, insertion, deletion, reverse, we use these kind of operations to modify data. Let's try to understand these operations using an example. Let's assume we have a data structure like this and say it's a list, and let's do some operations for this list. Let's insert this box 2 to our list. After we insert that, our list will be like this. Now let's remove box 2 from our list. After we done the deletion, our list will be like this. Now in here we remove box 2 from our list. Now let's see what is the reverse operation means. Let's apply reverse. Then our box list will be like this. Now in here I just explain what these operations mean. You see, it's a very simple thing. But data structure to data structure, there is a process to do that. We will learn how to do these operations to each data structure in later videos. Now let's see what a node means. Node is the basic building block of a data structure. Do you remember the box list in our previous example? It's our box list data structure. We use this box to create our data structure, right? This box contains data here. So we can call this box is the node of our box list data structure. Okay, in our previous example, these boxes contain integers. That means primitive data types. But nodes can contain non-primitive data types as well. In computer science, using these kind of nodes, we will build so many data structures to organize data. Okay, that's all about data structures introduction. In the next videos, let's see what these data structures are. Don't forget to subscribe my channel and give a thumbs up.